Hey, guess what, everyone? It is book talk number 5 today. So after this book talk, you're going to give a comment, and then we will go and we'll check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and see how many you've left to give you your grade. Today's book talk is called Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. And I picked up this book because it has won several different awards. So that's a good indicator that it's going to be a good book. It's also a book in verse, and it's also a memoir. So this is a story of Jacqueline's experience, and she decides to write them in short poems. So it was really actually easy to read through because they were so short. And she takes us from her birth to her adulthood and tells of the little snippets that she wants to capture of each experience. So right in the beginning of this story, she gives you a family tree. So as I'm reading through the story, I can kind of come back to this page to see how they're related or connected to her. And it's a good reminder if I'm getting confused about the different characters. Also, I'll show you here that her poems are fairly short, and it will capture one experience all in one poem. So she'll have her title, and then she'll have what happened. So Jacqueline is an African-American little girl growing up in the 1960s. So she tells about her struggles with the inequalities that were going on, and she lived in several different places, so you get to see how things change as she goes from place to place. So she starts, and she's born in Ohio, and she only lives there a little while because her parents are divorced at a very young age. And then she has to move in with her family and her mom in South Carolina. So in South Carolina, there's a lot more prejudice at that time, and she's just slowly trying to understand why it is the way it is. And then eventually her mom decides to go to New York City, but she doesn't bring the kids right away because she wants to settle down and have a good job and have enough money before she brings them back. So, Jackie and her siblings really struggle with that, having to be away from their mom for a while. And because of that, she grows a really strong connection with her grandfather, and it shows how important that relationship was to her. I'm going to read a snippet of one of her poems, and it's actually about, it shows her honesty and her struggles with loving to tell stories but struggling to actually write them down. And I think some of us can relate to that. So it says, "It's easier to make up stories than it is to write them down. When I speak, the words come pouring out of me. The story wakes up and walks all over the room, sits in a chair, crosses one leg over the other, and says, 'Let me introduce myself.' Then just starts going on and on. But as I bend over my composition notebook, only my name comes quickly, each letter neatly printed between the pale blue lines. Then white space and air, and me wondering, how do I spell introduce? Trying again and again until there is nothing but pink bits of eraser and a hole now where a story should be." So I really liked how she was able to write her memoir. It's very different than other ones that I've read. And it's a pretty powerful story, and in the end, we can make a lot of connections to her experience. So go ahead and write in the comments if you'd be interested in reading this, and we will see you next time. Have a good day.